I actually haven't seen The Office.
You
So
have?
sorry. You try to fail and then you succeed at failing. You failed.
Hey,
How are you?
doing great. How are you?
Cool. I'm good. I just got back from my little coffee run, but I'm good.
So glad, so glad to have you today.
Yay. I'm glad to be here. Thank you so much for having me, for setting this up.
Of
Very
course. Well, to start, I don't want to butcher everything you do, so can you introduce yourself?
Of course. Hello, my name is Madeline Ruiz. I'm a third-year student here at the University of Laverne. I'm very involved on campus, so I am a political science major and a speech communication major, but not only that, I'm also a commuter student. Initially, I thought that commuting would hinder my experience at the university because I was scared I wouldn't be able to be as involved as I am, but that hasn't been the case. I've been very involved. I am involved in a Greek life sorority, as well as I have a on-campus job at the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. And then I am also this year's ASULV President. ASULV is one of our student body governments on campus. So essentially, I'm the student body president of University of Laverne. So that's a little bit about me. Yeah.
Again, that's a lot. So you're one of the pioneers of college because I could never.
Oh, yeah, it's been a great time. I'm a first generation college student, so it's like my dream to like be very involved in college and like get the college experience. And I found that at the University of Laverne through my involvement. So it's been a great time. So yeah.
That's inspirational. You are.
Thank you.
So you mentioned that you are this year's president of ASULV. So what does work for the Associate Student Government of Laverne look like with COVID-19?
Yeah. So I love to be super transparent. So I'll just be honest. At first, when I first found out we were transitioning online, I was pretty much like, oh, that's the end of it. Like, I did not ever expect I didn't expect it to transition online as smoothly and as amazingly as it did. So since we've been transitioned online, I feel like ASULV's work almost intensified and like stepped up, like went up a notch, which is so amazing and something I'm so proud of. But essentially what we did was we continue to have our weekly meetings every Monday virtually via WebEx. So we'd have meetings every Monday. And at first I wanted to make meetings, okay, like I know everyone's going through a lot. So they're kind of optional. If you guys don't want to come, you don't feel pressured, it's okay. Every senator, every person would still come. We still had guests, we still had guest speakers. It was still like functioning as ASULV normally functions. If anything, I would even say even more successful because we understood the like pressure on us to advocate and to get things done. So it happened much more quickly. So the first thing we did was we decided to prorate the student activity fee. So every traditional undergraduate student got $100 back in their student account. So that was amazing. From there, we did some more like constitutional changes. We worked with and advocated with administration. We put on some virtual town halls, which essentially administration were able to take questions from students, really hard questions and concerns and suggestions, and answer them. And that offered a lot more information to everybody. As well as I, as president, was able to work on the CARES Act committee, which is basically the CARES Act is the federal stimulus to get put in the pockets of students to help them financially during this pandemic time. So I was able to do that. We were able to work closely with the Student Emergency Fund, which funds students an emergency grant during this time. So we have two separate types of emergency funds. We have one from the federal government and the one from donors. And so I was able to really just connect with both of them and try to advocate for the student needs and wants as best as possible. And then on top of that, we got together and made a campaign called Respect the Moment. And with that, we were able to showcase student experiences during this COVID-19 time because we wanted to provide a platform in which students were able to vocalize what they were going through and like kind of like give a space where that is honored and that is respected. And so that's what Respect the Moment is. It's a platform where students can share their stories and be heard. And on top of that, Respect the Moment, we also created a resolution, which is basically a letter that we sent out to the Office of the Provost, as well as to all the other like faculty governing bodies, basically advocating for them to also respect the moment and respect the stories and the challenges that students have been facing and have that reflective in appropriate adjusted finals week. So we were asking for the stories and the testimonies of each student experience to be able to hold weight in the decision of being made of what to do during finals week. So that's a little bit about what we've been doing. We're still like working, even though technically we only have like 2 weeks left, we're still like looking at different avenues on how to better serve students and stuff like that. But yeah, my presidency is pretty much done in 2 weeks. But the incoming president and the incoming Senate and executive board are amazing. And I know that next year's ASULV is going to get amazing stuff done, and that the student body is in a really great hands. So.
That's just amazing. It's funny that you brought up respect the moment, because we were actually going to talk about that.
Oh, cool.
Now. So you already answered the first question of respect the moment, but how did that movement come along? Like, how did you guys decide to start that up?
Yeah. So I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw that a lot of different schools were doing a lot of different things. And I brought this up in one of our Senate meetings, and an amazing senator brought it up that he wanted to move forward with creating a resolution and asking like basically for help from the administration and from faculty to help like alleviate the stress that finals week may put on students. So we basically got one of our senators to chair a committee of different senators to create a resolution, which is basically a letter of what we want, what has been going on, acknowledging that professors have academic freedoms and that we respect them as students, that we wanted to make sure with this resolution that we were not saying like, we demand this, we demand that. We wanted to, because higher education is a little bit more complicated because there's a lot of academic freedoms that come into play. So professors do have their own freedom of what they want to teach in their courses and stuff like that. And you can't really hinder that freedom. So it really comes up to what the professors wants to teach in their classrooms, and it's to the discretion of the professor. So this letter is basically like just a showcase of what the students have been going through, just so that when the professor is making those decisions of what they want to do in their classroom, they acknowledge that students are going through these hardships, because ASULV does recognize that oftentimes when things like this, when pandemics happen, obviously they don't happen often, but like this magnitude of a crisis really plays and affects different students differently. And it really plays on the inequality and the inequity of financial situations, of different family backgrounds and things like that. And we do not believe that it is the same of having like, it's not business as usual right now. Students have completely adjusted the way that in which they understand that school works, and have completely like re-envision what education means to them. And we were just asking that faculty and administration re-envision the way that success is measured, because it's not fair when a person is considered successful simply because they can afford the best technology, the best Wi-Fi, the best materials, as to a person who might not have access to all those materials. And we know that school is kind of a place where when we're in the classroom, we're kind of all equals, which is interesting. I saw again this tweet on Twitter, and I know I keep like referring to it. I know Twitter is probably not the most reliable source, but it allows me to like hear other people's like ideas and stories. I saw this one tweet, and it was like, the classroom made these two girls equal, but when they go home, they're far from it. And one of the girls was living in like a mansion, and one of the girls was living in like a tiny little place with like 7 other people. And see, when you have those kind of resources and that disparity between resources, and then ask those students to perform to the best ability, I just don't think that that's equal, and that's not giving every student the fair chance of succeed. And I just don't think that the educational ideal of success, of like testing and measuring success, is applicable during this time. So that's what we were basically asking for.
That is a lot, and I don't feel like you guys, your work that you do is known to the student body, but we who know what you do, we really appreciate everything that you're doing. I know that's a big load, and we really appreciate everything you and the Senate and everyone else involved does to ensure that we have that equal opportunity.
Yeah, well, thanks. Well, I just think it's honestly like been such an honor and a privilege to be able to serve in this role. And I have always said that I know that I have such privilege to be able to serve in this role because obviously I think so many other students would love to be like the president of the student body government. But unfortunately, some students have to work full-time jobs. Some students have families. Some students have so many other situations and obligations that they're not able to serve in this capacity. So the fact that I have the privilege to be able to serve in this capacity, I want to really use it and make the most of it. So yeah, it's been a great time. I've learned a lot.
That is so good. So what made you want to run for ASULV president?
Yeah, so I am a political science major, but that doesn't really start, like that's not why I joined ASULV. So I first joined ASULV as a freshman coming into college because I initially, when I first started coming to Laverne, I did not like it because I felt like I was just a commuter coming to class and going home. And I was really sad because I wanted that whole school experience, that big school experience, and I didn't get that. And so I joined ASULV as a freshman ambassador to try to get more involved and to try to open my social circle. And it did just that, and it opened so many more doors than I could have ever imagined. So I did start as a freshman ambassador my freshman year to kind of just get acclimated to the school campus as well as find new opportunities and get a new community to try to get more involved. From there, I loved it, and I ran for a senator of the College of Arts and Sciences. So that was my second year in ASULV. And then my third year, I decided that, you know what, I think I can do this. And I think that I can, this is something I'm excited to do. And I think I can grow from this opportunity. So I'm going to run for ASULV president. And I won. And I've done just that. I feel like I've grown so much. And I truthfully am so thankful for this position, but also this university, because I feel like myself as a student, as a leader, as just an individual have grown so much, because I went from being scared to sharing in my classes because I didn't want to look stupid to being the most outspoken one and having conversations because I realized that my voice is valuable and that I can contribute a lot to the conversation going and that I can make a difference and that change isn't too far away, so it's been a great journey.
Sounds like it. Sounds like you've had a lot of personal growth during this time. So we're going to play our first game.
Oh, yay.
Fact, cap, and why. So I'm going to make a statement that's been said by other Laverne students. And if it's facts, you'll call fact. If not, you'll call cap. And of course, you have to say why.
Okay. Deal. Let's play.
Okay. So statement 1, commuter students do not get the full college experience.
Cap. That's because I'm a commuter student and I don't I love my experience so much. And honestly, I'll give an advice. Sometimes it's hard to be a commuter. I drive about 30, 45 minutes away, sometimes an hour with traffic. I'm at the school sometimes 7 days a week for hours and hours at a time. And so sometimes it does get hard, and I have had to drive home late at night, but I've made connections to try, I am able to stay in the dorms with my best friends if I need to. My big and my sorority would let me stay the night at her place. And then you just once, it comes with the cost. So if you're a commuter, it obviously sacrifices, but also you're getting involved, so you're going to have more of a community to be able to stay the night with or help make it easy. There have been weeks where I literally stay with my friends for 4 or 5 nights in a row, and I basically live there. But so don't worry, it's a cap. You can get super involved and you can love your experience just like I do.
Okay, and this is the last statement.
Okay.
Student government is not for introverts.
Cap. It's for everybody. Absolutely. It's for everybody. I know that sometimes introverts may not like to public speak or do certain things that I just know that some people just are not super comfortable with that. But this student government is for everybody. There's different roles that make a student body government work. There's people who draft the resolution. There's people who bring up motions in meetings. There's people who vote. There is so many moving parts and so many places for different personalities that's what makes a student body government great. You don't want all extroverts or all one certain type of personality, because then there's no then everyone's fighting over like the mic, or it's just like there's so many different places and roles that different personalities and different interests and comfortabilities will play a role into. And so I just want you to know that you too can be a leader, student body government leader, or a leader of any sorts. Leaders at the University of Laverne do not look just one certain type of way. And even if you're walking into the University of Laverne being like, I'm not going to be a leader, I'm just not, like, I'm not brave, I don't like to talk to people, or I don't like people, or like things like that, just step out of your comfort zone just a little bit, and the personal growth you will receive is like unthinkable. So you too, even if you're saying, no, that's not me, it can be you.
Spoken like a true president right there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay, so again, I'm not as involved as you, but I am an RA, and I get pressed by my residents all the time about some questions that I can't answer. So I went to Snapchat and had them all type in things they want to know.
Oh, cool.
So here we go.
Oh my God, this is so cool. Okay.
So, question 1.
Okay.
Will the university, if they go hybrid for next semester, cut down on tuition? Is that even in talks yet?
So it's not in talks yet, at least not in talks that I've been involved in. Though I am the student body president, there are spaces that I am like invited in, and then there's some talks that I'm just like not in the loop yet because it's not like set in stone. I do know that the answer, because this has been coming up at like the town halls we've been holding, and the answer that they've been giving us is like, let's cross that bridge when we get there. I don't think they have, like, at least it's not public yet, any plan of tuition staying the same or reduced tuition or anything like that. However, I have heard this in the past from administration of using the summer school session as an example. For example, summer session is all virtual, and they are offering a lot of increased financial aid and increased scholarships when you take this virtual summer session. So it would be my assumption that that would be what would happen in the fall. However, there's nothing verified by the school yet. There's nothing yet. So I'm sorry, I can't really like answer that question. I don't know yet. Hopefully know that ASULV is advocating for help and for affordability and for things like that. But there's just nothing announced yet.
Okay. We've had some students who were confused over the CARE grant on whether or not if they're transferring in, if they're incoming students, and if they are current seniors, do they still apply for the CARE grant?
Yes. So the CARE grant is, again, a federal stimulus granted by the federal government to us. It awarded us $2.8 million to give in the pockets of current students. What that means is that the guidelines and the regulations set for this act were set by the federal government. So unfortunately, it does exclude a large population of students. And that is awful, and we are trying to navigate more aid to get to those students, populations excluded by the federal stimulus. And okay, but I'll answer this question. Who is eligible? Basically, it is the people who are eligible are students who, so basically, if you were enrolled on an on-campus class for the spring semester when COVID-19 hit and it disrupted your learning or disrupted something because you were on campus, then you are eligible. If you are an American, if you have, I believe, an American Social Security number. So for those graduating seniors, you are eligible because you were on campus the last spring. For incoming freshmen, you are not eligible yet. I don't know, they may be having new like applications for in the future to reapply for those new students, but for right now, it's just for the spring semester students who are enrolled on campus learning. So yes, so graduating seniors, you would be eligible.
Okay, here is our last question. How is ASULV working with our school officials to make a plan for transitioning back to in-person classes?
Yeah, so ASULV is just trying to keep up as much communication and like get all the information from the administration to go ahead and report back to the student body government. ASULV has the position where they are able to give suggestions or just comments or student body like feedback to the people planning. However, we do not have like direct say over like what's going on with like transitioning back to campus. However, I do know that the school is very strictly following CDC guidelines and regulations, as well as making sure that all health is the first priority. There was a question that was confused by a statement saying if that class sizes are going to be larger because of obviously like financial strains, but then in the same sentence, they were talking about social distancing. So a lot of students were concerned and confused as to how do larger class sizes equivalent social distancing. They seem to contradict themselves. However, they're looking at different ways to be able to safely host these classes. One idea that I've heard, one suggestion is that, okay, on a Tuesday, Thursday class, Tuesday, one group of students go to class, and Thursday, they're online, and it rotates like that. So these are all just ideas right now. ASULV doesn't have like the inside scoop or doesn't know like what's going to be planned for fall. However, there are a lot of ideas and suggestions, and if students have any suggestions, please feel free to email asulv@laverne.edu, and we'd love to like forward your suggestions and to administration.
Okay, we like that. So we're on to our next game. Now that I've drilled you with some questions, this is about questions that need answers. So
yes.
You said that you're on Twitter a lot.
Yeah, especially during this time.
I'm going to ask you some popular questions from Twitter that need answers. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. Question 1. Do bees have knees?
I think bees do have knees.
First, please elaborate.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. Yeah, they like land and then they have like little knees. You know?
That's in a bee movie?
I don't know.
Question 2. Now we're going to philosophy.
Oh my God. Okay.
If you try to fail and you succeed, which have you done?
You failed.
Really?
Like if you try to fail and then you succeed at failing, you failed. You know?
Clear cut. No in between.
No. But I'm really big on like succeeding and like not wanting to fail, but if you like try to fail, then you failed. You know?
Yes. That is our president.
No, stop.
Our last question. Why is it called a building if it's already built?
Oh my God. Yeah, because the builder was not creative. I don't know, because that's I don't know, because that's what God wanted it to be called.
You take the wheel on that one. Okay, so
I'm totally kidding.
First thing, what made you want to join Sigma Kappa Pi?
Yeah, so I'm really open with my entire experience at Laverne. I did not want to join a sorority. I thought it was not for me. I thought it was a waste of money, and I thought that I would never do it. Fast forward a year later, and I decided, you know what, maybe this is for me. My freshman year, I did not go through recruitment because I thought those thoughts. I thought, like, I already have my friends, not for me. And then I saw all the girls that I was friends with like go through recruitment, and it looked really fun. I was like, oh, like maybe I do want to do that. I was like, it's okay. I didn't do it. It's fine. And then the following semester, the opportunity presented itself, and I decided, what can I lose? If I don't like it, then I don't have to do it. But if I never wanted to live in like a hypothetical, like what would have happened had I done this? What would have happened if I did this, you know? And again, I was looking for that college experience of having friends, of having a community, of having a place to call home. And so I joined Sigma Kappa, and it was the best, like it has been the best experience of my life because of the people and the connections that I have made. So just an example that I like to give, and I give this on my tours a lot, I never thought that sorority was for me, just because, again, I'm a first generation college student. So just kind of the things that I didn't really know a lot about schools, about colleges, about anything like that, I kind of had to experience it for myself. But the amazing thing of that Sigma Kappa gave me, one of the many amazing things, is that my big was the same 2 majors as me. She is the reason I am graduating early and I'm graduating with like as good of grades I am. She is the reason I turn in such great essays or give such great speeches. She edits she edits my speeches, she edits my essays like to make sure my grammar is correct. She like tutors me. She has literally made a 4-year plan for me for my freshman year of what classes to take each year so that I could graduate in 3.5 years. That was one of the best connections I could have ever made, because she took the role of like a mentor through college that so many people have through like their parents or through the older siblings who had already gone through school. I didn't have that. And so she became that for me. And so that's why I'm like such a big advocate on finding your community and finding the space that you fit in with and the people you want to be around, because there's nothing like having an academic community who helps you through like hard academic times and like helps you succeed through that, but is also there for the personal accomplishments and the personal like times to like always be there for you. So that is why I joined Sigma Kappa, to find, or just a sorority in general, to find a community at my university to make me feel more at home. And it's done just that.
Okay. So can you speak more to sisterhood in general and what that means for you?
Yeah. I like I know that when people talk about their sorority, it's like, oh my God, it's so fun. Like, I love it. No, like I genuinely love it a lot. These girls have become my best friends. My little is like my best friend in the whole world. I talk to her like every single day, multiple times a day, literally about stupid things, about like our coffee orders. And I know people might be like, oh, that's just a friendship. And it is a friendship, but it is so deeper because of the sisterhood that it has created. Sigma Kappa. So an example of how strong our sisterhood is during this pandemic, again, we were kind of devastated because we were like, okay, we're having so much fun. We had just finished fall recruitment. We were in such a good spring recruitment. We were in such a good place. And then the pandemic hit and we had to go home and not see each other anymore. Every Sunday we have managed to keep having our meetings, which has provided me with a sense of normalcy, which I'm able to see my friends and still be able, and my sisters, and still be able to feel like, okay, I'm not alone through this. And I think that that's such a true testament to what Sigma Kappa sisterhood for me has provided me, just knowing that I'm not alone to the things I've gone through. Another example is, unfortunately, I lost my grandmother 2 months ago, and it was really hard for me and my family. My sisterhood and the sisters that I have were so amazing through that, and like they checked up on me, they made sure I was okay, they made sure like they were just like so amazing, and I really feel like I can tell them anything and that they're always going to be there for me, and I'm really grateful for that. So,
I'm glad.
yeah.
So in what ways did your sisters help you while running for ASULV president?
Yeah. Well, again, they helped me like find courage to know that I was good enough to do that. And I think that oftentimes I talk about like my whole like transformational like time at the University of Louvain, how I like walked in. Like when I first walked into the university, you couldn't tell. I didn't know that I had those like self-doubts and those things in me. I was very talkative. I was very bubbly. I was like very similar to how I am now. So you couldn't tell. But throughout my time at the university, I realized when I first came in, I was really insecure with my intelligence. I was really insecure with my leadership ability. I wasn't prepared to like stand up for myself and stand up for what I was speaking and advocating for. And through my time, I became like a leader able to do those things. And I think that my sisters through Sigma Kappa helped me do that by providing a space where I was able to be myself and find value in who I truly was. And I think in the past I had like a lot of influence of trying to be something that like trying to be something that I wasn't, and being like, okay, maybe I'm like too young, or maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm like a little too quirky or like weird or like things like that. And I think Sigma Kappa allowed me to be like me. And that's how I became so confident to be able to get this position, because I realized like I'm good and that I'm able to do the things that I set out to do. So. Yeah.
We love to hear that. So that's segueing into our next game called Claim That Crew.
Ooh, okay.
The theme song is on the background, and you have a limited amount of time to guess the show that the theme song belongs to. These are all shows that either embody friendship, sisterhood, or family.
Oh my God.
Are you ready? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I love
Yes.
I watch her still.
Yes. Here we go. Next one.
I hate myself. I don't know.
Oh, here we go. Say it. Proud Family.
Oh my God. Okay, next one. Next one. I'm like. You couldn't pick like Hannah Montana. Oh, that 70s show. See, you can pick like Hannah Montana, Gossip Girl. Like I would know.
Well, this next one is a kids show. So let's go.
I have no idea. I want to say like Spy Kids, but
Codename Kids Next Door.
oh my gosh, I don't know. I hate.
Codename?
No,
You were a Disney Channel kid?
Yeah,
Oof.
I was. And I still am. Well, I'm a nanny, and so like all we watch is like Peppa. We watch like different things like that. Yeah.
I have a niece, and oof.
This is so fun though.
Okay, this next one I think you'll get is one of the easier ones. Here we go. No clue?
Okay, I just want people to know I've heard that before. Okay, so you know when you like watch celebrities play out these games, you're like, they're so stupid. Like, how do you not know that? It's harder than it looks. So what show is that?
The Office.
Oh my God. Yeah, I actually haven't seen The Office. So sorry. No, I'm sorry.
Every college student has seen. I know. Here for never watching The Office. I got drilled.
Oh my God. And then you can obviously my cover has been blown because here I am like, oh, I don't know. But that was fun.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So this is a 90s classic. No, nothing. Have you ever heard of Rolling Face?
No, I haven't. I like how this is literally a show of like how uncultured Maddie is. How Maddie only listens to like Hannah Montana.
So yeah, just so you know, I think you're just neck and neck with Adam. He was on the show last week. He had to play "It's a Vibe" and name our songs. So I
did it legitly. I'm still with you. I'm hot. Oh, you asking for pictures with niggas? What's your name?
I don't think I know half the words in the lyrics.
B.O.P. the baby.
First part is, Candace, is that if you were to like play songs and be like, who sings this? I probably wouldn't know. Like, I'm really like not, I'm bad. Like, I'm really bad. And I feel like sometimes like I can hide that. But when you put me on the spot like this, I'm like, and I feel like, yeah, my close friends would know, like, don't ask Maddie about like pop culture. Not, like, I don't know. Like, you should watch the shows. The shows I watch are so dumb. Like, they're like the Lifetime like specials of like, I don't know.
That's me and my mom.
Yeah.
Down.
Like my favorite shows, like my friends are like, what are you watching now? And they're so dumb, but I get so sucked into like these shows. And they're like not mainstream at all, but it's fun.
Right now, me and my mom, we are binging British dramas on Netflix. So I'm not judging you at all.
Yeah. Oh my God, what's funny?
You are the ASULV President, Sigma Alpha Pi member, admissions ambassador. You are basically just Mrs. Laverne.
I am.
At one point, you were an incoming freshman.
Yeah.
What is something you want our incoming students to know about transitioning from high school life to college life?
Yeah. I want you to be proud of yourself and to know that the best is still yet to come and that you can accomplish so much and to not be limited by the experiences that you've had in the past, but to know that your future is so bright and that the University of Laverne is ready to help you achieve your dreams that you thought that were once impossible. So that's what I want you to know. Get ready for the best 4 years of your life because they go by fast. And even when you're like, I want this to be over because finals week is awful, it goes by super fast. And before you know it, you're being your senior year, like wanting to cry because it's like almost over. And it's going to be so fun. And if it's not fun, go out, get out of your comfort zone and make it fun because you get out of it what you put into it. So, yeah.
Your request for Hannah Montana, that feels like life's what you make it. So you just told the kids, I love that.
Life is what you make it. Thank you, Hannah.
Thank you for being here. We appreciate everything you do. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out and do not press people who aren't a part of because we do not have those answers.
Bye.
In the bloopers.
Okay, next one. Comment, rate, subscribe.
Thank you for watching the University of Laverne on YouTube. For more content, follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Laverne Admissions, or click the subscribe button and follow us here.